Cheech, you're a fly fish food, and you ask for soft hackles, therefore you have soft hackles. Welcome to the Biot Soft Hackle Thinger. It's going to be awesome.
That's a big brown.
The people ask for soft hackles, and soft hackles shall they have. All right, I'm going to tie one for you. It's kind of a little hatch-matchy something. These are just in some fishy colors. They'll probably work anywhere, but you can change this up as much as you want. I'm using a cool hook. It's newish from Fulling Mill. It's called the Tactical Shorty. I like to have, tie wet flies on a short-shanked hook. And we do a lot of these types of wet fly or soft hackly things on still water. So this is a really cool salt or still water hook. And we'll just throw it on a 14. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to start my thread right here behind the eye, and I'm not going to do the regular break move that I do because this hook is very, very slick. It's like coated with some extra fishy, grabby stuff. I think that's exactly what they told me it was. So I'm going to wrap back and try to keep my thread wraps to a minimum on this, okay? I'm going to have to build up a little bit of bulk, but don't go crazy when you're just dressing the hook. I'm going to take a biot. This is from the turkey. As you can see, I'm using feathers from the short side. I see that sometimes it can be confusing because it would seem like you might want to use this longer side on the turkeys, but you don't. You use the short side. Public service announcement. If you already knew that, just give me a high five and move on. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not teaching anything new. It's all been done before, but I'll tell you what, I see a lot of people grabbing that long side. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You can see on this biot, I'm holding this on my side of the hook, and there's a little notch right there, okay? This little notch, if I wrap this in, notch down, and then I take this bad boy and I take it and I start wrapping over like this, that's going to give me my best shot of having the biot with that little fuzzy fiber ribby thing sticking up, okay? If you want a smooth body, you tie it in with this notch facing up, and it will wrap smooth. But when we wrap smooth bodies, typically we want to be using goose biots anyway. Just my opinion. Don't sue me. All right, touching turns. Oh, no. See how that happened? No big deal. I caught the hook point with my thread, and it moved that out of position. That's fine. I can just take my finger, loosen my tension, and put it right back where it was. Okay? So, there again, we have kind of a slippery hook, so be sure not to screw it up like I just did. All right, touching turns up the hook. Okay, about to there. And we might as well just cover that up. And I'll actually trim off the rest of this point of the biot, just for OCD that I don't have. All right, so take some small red wire, whatever flavor you like, whatever you got handy. It could be anything. I think I just have some small uni wire. And I'm going to tie this on my side of the hook. And on this one, I do like to have it terminate in a certain spot. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So when I'm tying something like this, I'm going to show you my side of this. It's very important. See this, how the biot is on top and the wire is just sneaking out right underneath that, okay? That biot's going to get wrapped first, and I don't want the first wrap to go over the top of the wire. So it's important to keep the wire right there. There, soapbox off. So here's the next step. I really don't need to taper this a ton. I'm not going to because, again, we're kind of bulky anyway. We're just kind of creating a really cool rib. But this fly is also a lesson in durability. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a lesson in biot durability, and I'm going to take a little tiny bit of super glue, and we're just going to dab that up right there. Kind of like when your buddy scores a touchdown. You're going to dab them up just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to take this biot and just fold it. And I use my rotary feature for this. And you can see how I'm just sneaking my thread out of the way with my other finger. I'll try to get my fingers out of the way so you can see it better. Yeah. I usually just hold it with my fingers. I'll grab it with the hackle pliers just so we can, for the sake of the video. There we go. So as you can see, as I'm wrapping this forward, I'm just kind of creating bigger and bigger spaces as I go forward with the biot. Okay? So I'm going to stop it about right there. So as you can see, that's quite a thick thing to tie off. My thread's all the way up here, but I need to tie it off back there. No big deal, just cross it over the top of that biot. And once you have tension on it, you can release that biot plier, or the hackle plier, whatever you want to call it, and then wrap some wraps down. You can see how I put quite a few turns on this, because sometimes biots do stupid things, and when you trim them off, they want to kind of come unraveled. So you got to teach them who's the boss here. Get rid of the excess. Out it goes. We'll tie it the rest of the way down. And now we're going to bring this wire up through this. Okay? So just going the same direction of the biot, and you can even hug it right alongside that fuzzy ridge thing. It makes it look like you even did it on purpose when you show your buddies. So do that, make friends, stuff like that. So there we go. Let me see how it looks over here. Pretty dang good, if you ask me. All right. So I'm gonna tie off my wire. See that? Maybe 2-3 turns. Now watch this. I'm gonna get this wire out of here and tie maybe 2 or 3 insurance wraps right there. Okay, that's really tied down tight. So now when I do my helicopter, as you can see, this piece of wire is coming this way, and we wrapped our thread over the top. I'm just gonna go back against where it came from, just right there. Give it a nice little tug, and then if I helicopter, it's gonna come off really fast. There you go. Not much of a stem there. If you try to helicopter and not really tied down there, it can make problems. All right, so we're going to make a little thorax out of some Euro-Nymph flash dub. It's kind of a cool dub because it will dub down pretty tight, but also give a little bit of bugginess. And this has a little flash built in, so up we go with our, I saw guard hair in there, I didn't want it, so I just pull it out, we'll redub it down, and we're good. There we go. So we're going to wrap this, and this is just going to be kind of a shoulder for that soft hackle to cry on. You know, all it wanted to be was a dry fly, and it's not. So we're just going to give a little shoulder to cry on. It'll flare it out, it will pump it up so that it moves great, and the fish eat it. And then this old soft hackle will feel better about itself. All right, so these brown hen saddles from Whiting are awesome. Down here in a hen saddle, and this is the hen saddle off of the hen of the dry fly genetic. So you can see the feathers are nice and narrow and pointed at the base of this, unlike some of the hen saddles. So if you want a really killer hen saddle that has these smaller feathers, look at the Whiting red label stuff. Otherwise, you kind of have to get hen capes, and capes are not quite as flowy as the saddles. Okay, so there you have it. I've prepped a little portion. Whenever I size these, you can see this is quite a bit longer than the hook gap, but that's the rule of soft hackles. They're supposed to be big. Okay, so I'm going to take this and see how I'm taking this. I'm cheating here. When I wrap this, I want this to wrap with that concave going back, just like we have it in the how I'm holding it. So why not just tie it on like that? So I'm going to hold it right there, cross that stem over my hook point or my hook shank, and get it in there. See what I did with my finger too is it wanted to roll kind of like this, and that's not ideal. I want to keep that concave kind of going over the back of the fly, so you can just kind of roll it with your finger, or let it fall out and tie it in completely while you're not talking, and boom, just like that. Okay, so that's quite a few turns, and I am just going to get rid of that stem. All right, now soft hackles are high stakes. I mean, sometimes you got to get your fingers in there and manipulate feathers to get them to look right. So I'm usually going to come in here and just throw in a quick half hitch into this. And all that does is it prevents my thread from unraveling when I do something stupid. All right, so grab my little hackle pliers, whatever flavor you like. These C&F are the best, and just because they grab very, very well. All right, so I'm going to preen those back just a little bit, mostly before each turn. And we're just going to do one turn and then kind of focus on one more turn in front of that. Let's see, sometime, like I said, you got to really persuade that hackle to go where you want it. All right, so turn and a half, 2 turns, and again, I just barely have 1/2 turn of tension with my thread, and I can get rid of this hackle plier, and that makes it a little bit easier to get really clean tie downs on your soft hackle. So I've got 3 turns of thread in there. Instead of trimming this off and creating a big old, bulb of hackle that I've got to cover up now with thread, I'm just going to cover it up with thread right now. So I'm going to pull everything back, and I'm going to cover the base of that feather with thread. I'm putting very tight tension here, okay? And what I'm going to do now is whip finish and get rid of this. And then if I did this correctly, I can come in here and kind of crease that, and while I was creasing it, it just broke off. Okay, so there you have it. That's kind of a thicker, more hackle than some people like on their soft hackles. You can do fewer turns. You can go ahead and strip one side of that. You do it however you want, but all I'm saying is soft hackle like this looks realistic. It's pretty simple to tie. And it's fun to tie. It's fun to do. What else, Brigham? Brigham's on his phone, like looking up how to run fast or something in baseball.
Jump high.
How to jump high? Yeah. That's never going to happen.